Subject that I wanted to share on the 13th. Things got in the way, had to work and so on. Regardless of that, generally on the 13th of each month, I want to share some facts about whatever it might be, in this case the human brain. Facts that generally people don't hold at the forefront of their mind, are not really acknowledged on this, but they are facts that facts about the world that are part of our everyday life. Certainly 100% the way the human brain behaves is going to affect our everyday life, absolutely. And so the last one I'd done, that would have been on the 13th, was about money and the security levels in money and how we are protected against counterfeits. And one of the measures was in the photocopying industry. Photocopiers were going to tend to throw away error if you try to photocopy money. Go and look at that one. This was interesting to me some days ago. But again, I missed the date. I missed the deadline. But that's okay. It can come late and around about the date anyway. The brain operates on very little power, and when you consider its processing power, as it's phenomenal, but generally its processing power is it's not like a calculation machine. It's definitely more to do with like a pattern recognition machine. Regardless, let's read to you what I have in front of me on the incredible power of the human brain. So this is 14 mind-blowing facts about the human brain you might not have known, you might not ever have known. So the first one would be incredible to think of this powerhouse of an organ capable of performing billions of calculations per second, operates on only about 20 watts of power, equivalent of a small household light bulb. Although the brain accounts for only 2% of the body weight, it consumes around 20% of the body's energy, especially glucose and oxygen. Preferred energy source for a brain would be glucose, a form of sugar, but a more natural type of sugar, not your processed sugars. This balance between high function and low energy expenditure demonstrates just how efficient the brain is, operating seamlessly while we go about our day. I'm going to zoom that text in a bit. It's a little bit small for me to see. There we go, that's better. This energy efficiency has inspired advancements in fields like artificial intelligence. And I think I'm not a fan of artificial intelligence, but I do think it has its place and practical function in its place. But people, again, this is what we keep doing. Our technological prowess outstrips our wisdom, but there we go. Anyway, that's a whole separate video for that, I guess. So the artificial intelligence, where scientists strive to create machines that emulate the brain's processing power on minimal energy, the brain's ability to function optimally with such a small amount of power is a marvel of biological engineering. And this efficiency is something that artificial systems have yet to replicate fully. This remarkable trait underscores the sophistication of brain design, balancing energy conservation with high performance capabilities. Design would be probably the wrong word there. It would be like natural selection has come up with this. And I guess that'll be something else to talk about, evolution and natural selection eventually. I have a list of different videos I want to do on this and be ticking them off one by one. So this number 2, so there's 14 things here. So number 2 would be the brain's neuroplasticity. This is its adaptation ability to make new neural connections and prune and destroy other connections. So brain's neuroplasticity is one of the most amazing features, allowing it to rewire itself in response to experiences, learning, and even injury. Contrary to once held belief that the brain is fixed at a certain age, we now know that it can form new connections and adapt throughout life. The ability is particularly important in learning and recovery from injuries, as it enables the brain to compensate for lost functions by strengthening alternative pathways. This adaptation means that when we learn a new skill, remember an experience, or recover from trauma, the brain undergoes physical changes, creating and reorganizing neural pathways. Neuroplasticity has transformed our understanding of the brain, showing that it is never too late to learn or change. This feature is particularly significant in mental health treatment, rehabilitation, personal development, as it offers hope that the brain can adapt to and overcome challenges, fostering resilience at any age. Of course, there you get classically the older you get, there are some changes that look like a side effect of a trophy here and there, but even then we can still learn new things. Generally, unless you are in a condition with Alzheimer's, dementia, then it's a different picture, right? Regardless, number 3, the brain processes information faster than we realize. The brain's processing speed is staggering, with estimates suggesting it can perform 1 quintillion calculations per second. When integrating sensory input, decision making, and memory, unlike computers which operate linearly, the brain handles information through parallel processing, distributing tasks from different regions simultaneously. This allows us to react to sensory input and make decisions almost instantaneously, enabling us to navigate the world with agility and precision. This ability to process information quickly also explains why we handle complex tasks like driving, engaging in conversation, and making split-second decisions. The brain's multitasking ability, honed by millions of years of evolution, allows us to respond to threats, adapt to new environments, and learn efficiently. The speed of the brain's processing power is a testament to its efficiency and a key reason we can thrive in dynamic and challenging environments. Yeah. Number 4, brain activity is unconscious. Most of the brain's activity is unconscious. Yeah, and it definitely shows, and that's not a pun against people that seem to walk around in a dream. I guess, but I have a lot of annoyance of some people or lack of awareness of the surroundings working in retail. But then you see some people are really, really switched on as well. Most of our activity is unconscious, but I do observe subconscious as well. Things like body language, I've talked about that before, is kind of semi-conscious activity, not really at the forefront of our minds. A large portion of the brain activity happens outside our conscious awareness. Some studies suggest that 95% of our brain's activity occurs unconsciously, handling tasks like regulating our heartbeat, digestion, and breathing, as well as influencing emotions, memories, decision making. This unconscious processing helps the brain manage essential functions automatically, allowing us to focus on more complex conscious thought processes. This unconscious processing also shapes our daily lives, in which we don't always realize our brains constantly filter sensory information, retaining only what is necessary for the task at hand. This filtering process prevents sensory overload and enables us to function effectively without being bogged down by every detail in our surroundings. The brain's ability to balance conscious thought with vast unconscious processes is essential for efficiency, and highlights how much of our lives are directed by unseen neural activity. Yeah, that's certainly something that fascinates me. And again, there's other videos I could do that kind of sub-relate to something like that. Number 5, memory is surprisingly unreliable. Certainly, that's again, a lot of these sorts of things spur me on to ideas for other videos. So, despite how vivid certain memories may feel, studies show that human memory is surprisingly malleable. Each time we recall a memory, the brain reconstructs it from potentially adding or omitting or altering details. Factors like emotion, suggestions, and even the passage of time can all change our memories, making them far less accurate than we often believe. Emotional events, in particular, tend to intensify our memories, but they also distort them, making certain aspects stand out more than others. Which evolved first? Emotion, not higher thinking. People tend to forget what they said, what other people have said to them, what you did, or whatever, but they don't tend to forget how you made them feel. Keep that in mind. Yeah. This unreliability of memory has important implications, especially in contexts like eyewitness testimony, where accuracy is critical. Neuroscientists studying memory have found that our brains are not like video recorders. Rather they actively reconstruct events based on current knowledge, beliefs, and emotions. This tendency to alter memories over time shows how complex and dynamic our memory system is, influencing how we interpret and recall past experiences. Although it's not as reliable as a digitally recorded thing, I still think it's reliable enough for our function. In general, certainly in a court of law, if somebody was harassed in the past, and they give you details. But they're usually going to remember where they was, what happened in general, how they was made to feel, and where they were hurt, perhaps if it's physical harassment, and so on. So again, yeah, I find that kind of thing fascinating, and certainly there's a lot about it where people don't have a mind's eye. I did say I want to talk about aphantasia sometime as well. Number 6, the brain has no pain receptors. The human brain is responsible for processing pain signals from the body, yet it contains no pain receptors of its own. This is why neurosurgeons can perform brain surgery on awake patients without causing discomfort. Pain is felt in the brain but is generated by signals from nerves in other parts of the body. For instance, if you stub your toe, it's your brain that interprets the sensation as pain, even though it's not capable of feeling pain itself. This lack of pain receptors in the brain has allowed for advancements in neurosurgery, enabling doctors to study and interact with brain in real time. During operations, this characteristic also... misread that. Let me read that again. Enabling doctors to study and interact with the brain in real time during operations. This characteristic also highlights the brain's unique role as the central processing unit for all body sensations, acting as both the receiver and interpreter of pain signals, even though it remains insensate itself. Number 7. The brain can influence its own chemistry with thoughts. There's things like that really fascinate me as well. Philosophy in ancient Buddhism actually said we become our thoughts. That's a whole subject matter as well, where I'd like to do a video on that kind of subject. It's like when we change our thoughts to different belief systems through our lives, we behave in different ways in which we like to behave in that is in line with our belief system. Otherwise, we think we're lying to ourselves. But different behaviors, even in one lifetime, are being said to be turning on and off certain gene sets, certain genes that can be influenced even in one lifetime. Some genes can't. That's called epigenetics. And it's a whole fascinating subject. So yeah, the brain can alter its chemistry. Profound ability to alter chemical composition in response to thoughts and emotions. Positive thinking, for example, can increase levels of dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine is thought to be like a feel-good hormone as a neurotransmitter. Generally, it can be is referred to in brain science as a neurotransmitter, but loosely. It's more referred to as a neuromodulator, enhancing the neurotransmission of other neurotransmitters. This is why you get that clarity of thought when you have your dopamines peaking up. Less brain fog. So dopamine, serotonin, neurotransmitters that promote feelings of happiness and well-being. Conversely, stress and negative thoughts can increase cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, which can lead to anxiety, fatigue, and even immune suppression over time. The phenomena, often demonstrated by the placebo effect, shows that our mental state can produce real measurable changes in our brain chemistry impacting our physical and emotional health by focusing on positive thoughts and practicing mindfulness. Individuals can help regulate the brain chemistry and improve their mood resilience and overall well-being. The brain's responsiveness to thoughts highlights the importance of mental health practices and reveals how our thinking can shape both our emotions and physical states. It's something there, the way that's worded. I think of like self-help programs. There's some good stuff out there, but there's a lot of nonsense as well. And again, that's something else I might talk about eventually. Number 8, the brain shrinks with age. As people age, the brain naturally begins to shrink, losing volume in areas such as the prefrontal cortex, the hippocampus, which are crucial for memory and cognitive functions. This reduction in brain volume is a normal part of aging, but can lead to slower processing speed and occasionally memory lapses. However, studies show that engaging in regular activity, maintaining a healthy diet, and participating in mental stimulating activities can help slow down the process and support cognitive health. Because it makes a lot of sense where the more atrophied your body is, the more atrophied your brain's going to be, because you're not going to be moving around so much. You want to rest more, and you get more exhausted easier. But ingrained into us, part of our early origins we're nomadic, so movement was a crucial part of us. And you'll get people of late in age more cognitively functioning than somebody who is the same age, but you'll find the one that's not so good at cognition is the one that doesn't move as much or move around as much. Studies have been done on that, and it's tied in, very integral to movement and brain function. Again, something else that can be talked about as a subject of things. So these are interesting facts, and they're a side effect of a deeper cause, how and natural selection and so on. That is really fascinating. So, while some degree of brain shrinkage is inevitable, severe loss of brain volume can be linked to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Researchers are investigating ways to preserve brain health and counteract age-related shrinkage focused on lifestyle interventions and medical advancements. So they're saying a percentage of it can be avoided. Again, there's a lot of research in that. And people are living longer and longer, and their cognitive decline is actually coming later and later in life anyway. So there's the thing is that people are healthier generally, especially after the 1800s, when the biology, the sciences involved, the biology sciences, and you see an uptick in people living longer and longer exponentially, all the way up a chart until we get to the current present day, where we're kind of peaking. We're kind of reached a bit of a curve. There's a bit of a dip here. So at number 9, the brain has a built-in reward system. We've all felt that. You're like, oh, done it, and you feel great. You've achieved something, right? The brain has a reward system governed primarily by neurotransmitter dopamine, which plays a central role in motivation and behavior. When we experience something pleasurable, such as achieving, socializing, or enjoying a meal, the brain releases dopamine, creating feelings of satisfaction and encourage us to repeat the behavior. This system was crucial for survival, reinforcing behaviors necessary for well-being, such as eating, social bonding, and achievement. I should do a separate video on dopamine on its own, because some of this is slightly skewed in what they're saying. However, this reward system can lead to addictive behaviors. Dopamine release becomes linked to activities that can be harmful in excess. Yes, if your dopamine comes up too high or very high very quickly, the quicker the uptick, the quicker the downtick, and the shorter the space of time, and you feel so good, but it's lasted such little time. You think, oh, I need that again. Junk food, alcoholism, drugs, narcotics, they all do this. There are ways to cause the body to ebb your dopamine, your brain, ebb your dopamine up to a peak throughout the day. And once it peaks, it ebbs back down slowly as well. Some experiments I've done myself, I'm convinced that's what happened to me, and it was fascinating. Let me read further on anyway. However, this reward system can also lead to addictive behaviors, dopamine, harmful, yada yada, gambling, substance abuse. You know the drill, right? Social media consumption, yeah, excessive social media, unsocial media, actually. Yeah, it's our reward-seeking behavior. Number 10, the brain experiences neurogenesis in adulthood. For decades, scientists believed that humans were born with a finite number of neurons, and once those cells died, they couldn't be replaced. However, recent research has shown that neurogenesis, the creation of new neurons, can occur in adulthood, particularly in the hippocampus and the area critical for memory and learning. Factors like exercise, again, movement, mental challenges, social interaction, all these stimulate neurogenesis, supporting cognitive function and mental health. The discovery of neurogenesis has revolutionized our understanding and the understanding of the brain's resilience and adaptability. It suggests that the brain retains a degree of plasticity and growth potential throughout our life. I'd argue that natural selection is actually increasing that to compensate for us living longer anyway, and that's going to be a slow transition anyway, a slow change over time, evolution, providing we don't annihilate ourselves in between, because we can be a very, very psychotic species. Look at it, what's happening with America right now, with somebody who's very psychotic in charge, right? Offering hope for treatment related to mental health, memory loss, and neurodegenerative diseases, neurogenesis underscores the brain's potential for self-renewal, emphasizing that it is never too late to invest in brain health. Number 11, so not many more to go. The brain's left and right hemispheres are specialized. Now, basically, it's been said over the years, left-handers are right-side brain dominant. I'm left-handed. And over the years, from young age to present day, I tend to be more lenient towards creative thinking, artistic, as opposed to some others in my own social circles. But there's a heck of a lot more from experience. to being left-handed. You're not just like one side of your brain completely dominant, because you're growing up in a primarily right-handed world, so you have to adapt anyway to some degree. And everything's designed physically for your right hand. So we have to adapt neural functions, motor functions that are primarily designed for right-handers, because most people you meet can be right-handed, although left-handedness is on the increase. Not even sure why, but I got some theories as to why, but I don't know too much. The left and right hemispheres of the brain have distinct functions, contributing different cognitive and emotional processes. The left hemisphere is generally associated with logical, analytical, and language-related tasks, while the right hemisphere is involved with creativity, spatial awareness. Now, my spatial awareness is very good. And intuition, this division of labor allows the brain to process a broad spectrum of information, balancing rational thought with artistic expression and intuition. However, despite these functions, despite these functional differences, both hemispheres work together. That's important. You'll say, are you left-brained or right-brained? Well, it's not like a switch. It's combination. It's a collaboration between the two. One would be more dominant than the other, though. Despite these functional differences, both hemispheres work together seamlessly through the corpus callosum, which is a bundle of nerve fibers that facilitates communication between the two sides. This interplay between hemispheres shows that the brain's functions are not strictly isolated, rather they complement each other, demonstrating the brain's ability to integrate logic and creativity. Yeah, what you think an architect does. An architect needs to be logical, mathematical, but they're also an artist, they're creative as well. 12. The brain experiences electrical activity as brain waves. Every thought we have generates electrical waves that can be measured as brain waves. These waves vary in frequency depending on our mental state. For example, alpha waves are associated with relaxation. The beta waves indicate an alert, focused state. Higher frequency gamma waves are linked to intense concentration and problem solving, while slower theta and delta waves occur during sleep, during deep sleep. Understanding brain waves has led to therapeutic applications such as neurofeedback, which trains individuals to regulate their brain activity to achieve desired mental states. The study of brain waves has provided insight into brain's activity levels, contributing to fields like sleep medicine and mental health treatment. The fact that our thoughts produce measurable electrical waves highlights the dynamic and ever-changing nature of the brain. I've had music. I bought music before now. It has binaural beats that put the brain into a chosen specific state, different wave, and it's like a trick, where it's audible trick where the beats are timed, alternating in a particular way that the brain generates a new beat out of it. You hear a beat that's not actually in the headphones, but because of the timing, and you might hear this dum 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 dum. I know it's hard to explain. It's sort of bouncing between the headphones, but you hear a third. You got these two sounds, but you hear a third one and it's generated by the brain audible processing, which trains that into a particular wavelength, a brainwave here. Yeah, it's fascinating, and something else again could talk about in a separate video about something along those lines. These self-help audio things you can download MP3s that are good for like meditation audios here and there. They're not really ideal for everyone, but they help a bit. Some people they help a lot. There's a spectrum. You will have found different pitches in what they're hearing. Some prefer the lower pitches, some people prefer slightly higher. Right, so where was that? That was brain waves. The brain processes and prioritizes information selectively. The brain receives vast amounts of sensory information every second, but it processes only a fraction of it consciously. This selective processing, known as sensory gating, also the brain, allows the brain, again, tired eyes, let me wipe them, that's better. This selective processing, known as sensory gating, allows the brain to focus on the most relevant stimuli and ignore extraneous details. For example, in a crowded room, the brain filters out background noise, allowing you to focus on conversation without being overwhelmed by other sounds. This is why when somebody in a crowded room, a noisy room, calls your name, it stands out against the background because your brain's processing, prioritizing different sets of information. Oh, it's people talking, that's not relevant. It's a noisy room, there's no conversation there that's calling my name, therefore I won't know. I'm not going to pay attention until I hear my name. So he calls your name and it's clear as day against right across a crowded room, right? Particularly if it's a voice of a loved one, you know, your closest partner, because their type of voice you'll be prioritizing as well. This selective attention helps prevent sensory overload, enabling us to concentrate and make quick decisions without distraction. Understanding how the brain prioritizes information has important implications for productivity, learning, and mental health, as it sheds light on how we can optimize focus and reduce cognitive strain. Last but not least, while we sleep, we may seem like a time for the brain. It may seem like it's time for the brain to shut down. It's actually a period of intense activity. Your brain's more active, doing a lot more when we're sleeping. There's a body that's doing less, and when we're awake, the body's doing more, and the brain's doing less. Yeah, and that seems, when you think it through, you think, oh yeah, that's why my dreams are weird. And yeah, you wake up, you feel physically refreshed. Maybe not so mentally refreshed, but you definitely feel physically, right? So while sleep may seem like the time for the brain to shut down, actually a period of high intense activity during sleep, the brain cycles through stages, including rapid eye movement and non-rapid eye movement, or REM sleep, which play different roles in memory consolidation, emotional processing, and cellular repair. REM sleep is particularly important for dreaming, during which the brain processes emotions and experiences, integrating them into long-term memory. I was reading a book many years ago on lucid dreaming, where people do these techniques to be consciously aware in the dream while they're having the dream. Something that people can struggle with, and something that some people just do automatically once they've just read up on it. And there's a lot to talk about there, but generally, the REM sleep, in that book, they think the REM sleep, the eye movement, was where you're looking as if it would be, where you would be if it was a waking day event, you're looking around. And just under the closed eyelids, you can see the eye moving, you can see the rounded shape just moving the eyelid, right? And they saw one which it appeared to be looking left, right, and they were attempting to be lucid in a dream. And once they woke up, they asked the subject, "What was you dreaming about?" And he said, "I was watching a tennis match." He's watching the ball going left and right, maybe. And it seemed to, a lot in that research, seemed to equate where they was looking around in a dream state. There's some people, though, they don't have visual imagery in their dream state. Some people do, and they don't remember it consciously once they're awake, but they might get tiny little bits. If you're in REM sleep, you're dreaming. People wake up and say, "Oh, I don't dream." Yes, you do. If you've gone to sleep, you have had a dream. It's what the brain does. It's just that we don't always remember. So the brain's activity during sleep underscores the importance of the rest for mental and physical health. Sleep allows the brain to cleanse itself of toxins, solidify memories, and prepare for the next day. The discovery of sleep's active role in brain function emphasizes the need for quality sleep as an essential component of cognitive health and overall well-being. The human brain is an extraordinary organ with capabilities that continue to surprise and challenge our understanding, from neuroplasticity and memory formation to the influence of thought on chemistry. These facts reveal just how dynamic and adaptable the brain truly is. As research advances, we are beginning to unlock even more of the brain's mysteries, offering new insights into learning, healing, and power of the mind. The brain's adaptability, power, efficiency, and intricate organization make it one of the most fascinating and essential subjects of scientific exploration, continuously inspiring and awe and respect. Now, as for the memory side of thing being a bit myopic, it can be surprisingly accurate in some people as well. Frighteningly so. Very detailed, highly detailed and accurate. But you usually find other aspects of that person's brain are atrophied. Anyone remember a film, if you're old enough, called Rain Man? The character Rain Man in the film was based on a real person in real life, and the Rain Man could memorize a time and day and date and what happened during that time and date. Just assimilate books and tell you what word is on a page specifically, almost like a photographic memory as well. Somewhat seemingly a side effect akin to like a digital recorder, but again, it's very different what's going on there. Memory techniques are a thing which people don't generally think of too much. They may have their own unique sort of quirks of techniques to remember things, but there are specific whole books written on very, very specific techniques as well that encourage activity of both sides of your brain, the creative and the linear, the mathematical and the more structural, like the architect being creative as well as academic and mathematical. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I thought I'd share this one with you. The article is at the website. I'll put the website, not my website, it's a website I came across, and that's scientificorigin.com. There's some fascinating stuff on there. I thought I'd give my little bit of a take. I'd read it to you, and some takes on some of these articles have inspired me. Yeah, that's something I need to talk about at some point on this YouTube channel. But it's also to aid some information to be put out on this channel to get people thinking, no pun intended, get them thinking about who they are as a human being. It's crucial, I think, that we need to learn more about ourselves as human beings rather than getting too caught up in the screen. Yeah, so level your screen time down a bit. Don't be too obsessed with your phone. Go outside without your phone sometime and see how you feel about it. If you feel like you're missing a limb or something, that is because you're too addicted to this. Is not part of you, no matter how much it feels like it is. I've gone out and about without my phone, and if I have had to ring home, I've found a way. I still found a way. Ask a friend, or stop a taxi driver and say, "Not gonna go off of the phone, but I need to ring home quick." And I don't know, whatever kind of society you live in, hopefully people are friendly enough to cooperate. Generally, the towns and cities I visit, people are okay with that. And it is what it is. It's just we are too attached to these screens. And this is the problem, where our technological prowess leaps ahead of our wisdom, and our wisdom finally one day catches up. Then there's another technical leap, and wisdom's left behind again. And we're all dysfunctional. We have these leaps of dysfunction over and over. That kind of balances out sometimes. But yeah, there is a lot of dysfunction in the world, primarily because the way we're using technology, I think, is one of the side effects of it. There's more stuff going on as well. But the disregard of education in favor of the entertainment industry through the technology as well, through the internet as well. That doesn't mean we shouldn't just ditch entertainment. What a boring life if you were going to ditch that. But balance things out. Inner awareness, meditation, brainwaves, audios. Go and look into them. See if they can help you. And outside awareness. Balance your awareness of your inner awareness and your outside yourself. Because that, I think, is another crucial thing where we're going wrong in society, where mental illness arrives when people are too far involved in themselves, inner, and some people are too far aware of what's all going on around them, and they miss checking themselves. They don't really maintain themselves too much. Too far in, bad. Too far out, bad. Introspective, outrospective. They need to be balanced. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to doing another video soon. So these are some little known aspects or aspect of the human brain, as I put there. Not one aspect that we've listed, it's aspects, 14 of them, and it's all fascinating. I think we are a fascinating species. We're psychotic, though, in many ways, and do I think we're evolved past the point where we go spacefaring? I don't have much faith in that, although it'd be great if we do. Regardless, do the best you can today with what you have. And good luck out there. It's a tough world at the moment. It's always a tough world, but what's happening around the world at the moment, it's a little bit anxiety driving for a lot of people, especially if you're living in America, or especially if you're living in Ukraine, especially even for Russians who are being conscripted to fight, and some of them are rather a civil war against Russia than fight against Ukraine. Yeah, it's the whole thing's messy at the moment and at the forefront of a lot of people's minds. Thank you for watching. Good luck out there. Bye.